You are listening to the Culinary Courtesan, the edutainment podcast about lifestyle, wine, and spirits. Hosted by Yolanda Shoshana. Let's get this party started. Hey, it's Yolanda Shoshana. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Pump Pet Podcast. I love having you here. So, one of my favorite drinking holidays is quickly approaching, and I'm a wee bit excited. June 4th is National Cognac Day. Woohoo! If you follow me, you know that I love me some cognac because I love the brandy category. I think it's one of the most beautiful and versatile categories around. And you may or may not know this, but cognac is king of the brandies. In 2018, 87.4 million bottles of cognac were exported to the USA. So clearly, we love our yak. Though I do think, and I'm on a mission, to help more women drink cognac. I think a lot of women sleep on it because they're focused on bourbon and whiskey, which is also delicious, and I love that too. But cognac is such an elegant and sexy spirit. I think more ladies would like it if they knew more about it or spend a little more time sipping it. Right now, a lot of people still think of cognac as an older white dude's drink, because older white dudes love their cognac, and a rapper's drink, because rappers love their cognac too. You know, they're always showing with their bottle of Henny. So let's get into a little bit of history of the cognac, and some of this may surprise you. What is a little surprising, and was surprising to me when I first found out, is that cognac was made by mistake. It wasn't intended. So back in the 16th century, farmers were transporting their wine on ships. To cut a few corners and to ship more of it, farmers took the water out of the wine. So they wanted to ship more wine at the same tax. So they put in less water. What had happened was that wine made something a little bit delicious that farmers discovered, and they didn't put the water back in. So that is where cognac was created because that wine was aging in the barrels when they were being transported. That's also where the color of cognac comes from. So cognac first starts as a wine made with wine grapes, and then it's put into the barrels and it's aged, and that's where that beautiful amber color comes in. And that juice is called eau de vie, which you may have heard of. Most cognac is made up of a blend of eau de vies. And that's where you start to see it on the labels, the VS, the VSOPs, the XO. Let's talk about those labels because that becomes important in what you're drinking. So the very lower end of cognac is that VS. That's what you're going to mainly see in cocktails, VS and the VSOP. And VS means very special. And that's aged for about 2 years. So it's not as smooth. It may be a little harsh to those who aren't used to cognac when they first take a sip, but still good on its own. But like I said, great for mixing those classic cocktails. Then you get to the VSOP, and some people also call it reserve. VSOP is very superior old pale. And that is aged for 4 years and up. And this is where it's going to get a little bit smoother. Some people drink this neat or on ice. This is pretty good on its own, but also great for those higher end cocktails. And then we get to my favorite category, that XO, and that means extra old. This is my favorite of the cognacs. Really smooth, and the minimum that the youngest eau de vie in that bottle is aged is 10 years. And this is a recent change. It used to be a little less, but now 10 years and up is the minimum. This is where, I don't know, smooth, elegant. You'll start seeing the bottles that are $100, $200. These are where you start pairing with your cigars and all that good stuff. Very beautiful cognac. And then you go higher up. You know, you've got your Louis, you've got your Paradis by Hennessy, the $2,000 bottle, which, ooh, child, I've had that a few times and I ain't gonna lie. I'm a fan. I am truly a fan. If you ever have an opportunity to have it, just do. Yeah, it's a little pricey, but definitely worth it, and it's an experience. And those eau de vies are aged even longer. So most people don't even realize that majority of the classic cocktails were made with cognac, like a mint julep. That was first made with a cognac versus a bourbon. So cognac was the spirit of choice back in the day until the phylloxera came through and wiped out crops, wiped out grapes, and it really messed up the importing and exporting. And so cognac kind of took a back seat. So just know that all the bourgeois and all the fancy people were really drinking cognac back in the day, and I highly recommend you try a mint julep with cognac. It definitely gives you different feels than with the bourbon, though I love a good mint julep. Now I kind of want one. There are about 200 cognac producers, though I really think at this point it's more, because that figure seems a little small to me. It's probably more like 250 to 300 at this point. And you're not going to see some of those cognacs. Some of those cognacs don't make it out of cognac, or they don't make it out of Europe. But you're going to see the big players like Hennessy. Hennessy is always in the house. Remy Martin, Martell, Camus, and a few others. Those are the ones you always see. And Cavassier. And I highly recommend all of them. And I also recommend stretching your palate if you see a different cognac to try it out. If you've tried Hennessy and you don't like it, because it's not for everybody. Hennessy is a little harsher on the palate, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's harder on the palate, whereas Remy Martin is known for being number one with women. It's a little lighter. There's more floral in their cognac, though Hennessy Black will give you that floral. It's one of my favorites to mix in cocktails. It comes in a black bottle, and it's kind of sleek, and you can drink that on its own and on ice if you like those floral notes. Camus is great. They've actually just redone their packaging to be a little more modern, and great stuff. Camus is an old school cognac that most people enjoy, men and women. So that may be one you want to check out if, like I said, you've tried Henny and it doesn't agree with you. But next time you are having a classic cocktail, I highly recommend you trying one with cognac. I also recommend cognac and sherry cocktails. I don't know what it is about cognac and sherry, but gosh, it works. It's absolutely beautiful together. And there's a lot of classic cocktails that are made with it. Also, ask your bartender if you can just try a wee bit of the cognac. Not a whole shot, but just the cognac so that you can taste what the cognac tastes like by itself before you have it in a cocktail. It'll let you know what you're really drinking. And like I said, if you are into cognac, why not try smaller producers? I actually really liked Douce, and I had to admit that. I thought I wouldn't like Jay-Z's brand, but I have to admit, it's pretty good. They don't even have a VS. I believe they go VSOP to XO. Good expression of a cognac. I really enjoy it. And I just was recently sent a cognac kit, which I'm really excited about. You know, people are always pitching me and wanting to send me stuff, and I never know what it's quite going to be, but I was sent a cognac kit, and it has 2 cognac expressions, a VS and a VSOP, and then they sent me some mixers to make a cognac spritz. I've never had a cognac spritz, because I'm one that likes my cognac kind of neat, or I make a classic cocktail, but I'm going to try to make a cognac spritz. But it had Park, VSOP, and Park is a beautiful cognac. I've tried it before at a tasting, and I'm so happy to now have it in the house, so now I can play with it. And then I got AE D'Or, which I've never had, and I'm really excited. They are mainly distributed in Europe, so I'm assuming and hoping, if I like this cognac, of course, that it's popping up more and more in the US. So, like I said, there are more than the big boys that you can play with. You can go for smaller producers and try stuff that is family owned. Though a lot of these cognacs do some beautiful work in communities. I will say this. Out of all the spirits that are out there, I think cognac does one of the best jobs of bringing different art forms together. They have been very good at this, from bringing fashion and food and music and paintings and art together. Cognac is so good for that. And I love seeing all the art forms come together. So if you are into spirits that are really truly about your senses, I highly recommend cognac and you having some on June 4th and beyond. If you have a cognac you think I should try, write me, let me know, because I too love trying new cognacs and I definitely have not tried them all. So drop me a line and let me know what you're going to be drinking and what's your favorite classic cocktail with cognac. Above all else, don't forget to live life through your senses. And thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, peace, love, and cheers.